everyone, Lau here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm showing you my Shaak Ti cosplay. So it's another installment of my cosplay showcase videos. So if you're new here, I'm a cosplayer. I'm also basically a geek. I am a fan of a lot of different things like Star Wars and Disney, and my channel is kind of like divided into like things like my toy collections or like unboxing things, but also cosplay things. And I know that you've been awaiting another cosplay video, so this time I will show you it's still my newest cosplay. I haven't worn her out to a convention because obviously no conventions currently, but I've worn her since I finished her at least for a home shooting, which I did myself, so I can now tell you a little bit more about the costume. Here is the headpiece, which I have made a separate video on, which I will link down below. So today's video is more focused on the whole the textile parts, the costume itself. Okay, let's just start with the top, which is actually just a very simple long-sleeved jersey top. It has a square neckline, and yeah, the sleeves should be very tight. There's nothing really to talk about. I will show it to you up close. So yeah, it's actually just like a brown single jersey fabric that I used, and what I also did is to make like a facing inside here to really get the square neckline very evenly. Yeah, in the I think that she's really wearing like the movie costume, really wearing a long sleeve. If you look more at the Clone Wars reference pictures, in that one I found that she's wearing like a tube top and then like arm or sleeve covers, which are like then cut here, so like arm warmers. But it's obviously way easier to make like just a long sleeve top to wear underneath. So, and you really just see like that part, a little bit of it, and it's very important that the neckline is very deep. That's all I can tell you. Buy one or just make one. So I sewed that myself because that's very easy for me. Yeah. The next thing is the skirt. It's a pleated skirt, like in German I would say plissé fabric, but I think in English it's just pleated fabric with very thin pleats. It is also dark brown, and it is very long, so it definitely goes right up until the floor. I don't know if you can see that. I will definitely show it to you in detail. And underneath I'm wearing a petticoat. Not a super fluffy one, but I think that if you wear it, like if you have a really thin pleated material and you're wearing it without a petticoat underneath, it really looks like very slim, very like not very pronounced. Like I don't like that. And I also think that at least one of the costumes probably has a petticoat underneath. If you're wondering what I mean with one or the other, I think I couldn't really find it out, but I think there were two movie costumes for Shaak Ti. Probably one for episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and one for Revenge of the Sith. And I based my costume like on both of them, because I looked at both of them, because one of them looks more, it has more like poofy skirt, and it's like in general in darker colors. And the other one is more, it looks more slender like the skirt, and it has like lighter colors. I will definitely insert pictures for you. So you see, I definitely based mine more on the like darker colored one. Yeah, but like I still had a look on both of them. Here you can see how my pleated material looks like. Let me tell you, I did not find brown thin pleated fabric. I went for a dark green and then dyed it. Well, I used, because it is a polyester, I used a polyester dye. It's called I-dye poly, and it really worked. But I put like 2 different colors together because it was a dark green. I thought, well, dark green and red makes brown, and on top of that I used also brown. And in some lights it still looks a little bit more greenish than brown. And in some areas, like I don't know what happened to the waistband, but that one really looks more red. So, but you don't see that afterwards because there's a belt over. So, but it kind of worked because it was a dark green, and now I've got this one like this color. So as I said, the skirt is very long. You have to be very careful when walking in it because you could trip over it. I think the mannequin is a little bit shorter than me, then that's why it's a little bit longer here. But basically this like wavy hem is a very thin rolled hem that I made, like very thin. And while sewing the hem, you have to really stretch the fabric, like the pleated fabric, and then it comes out as this this wavy hem, which is accurate to the movie costume. The skirt gets even longer in the back, so it's like a train that you are is dragging on the floor behind you when you're walking. I will turn it around so you can see how long it actually is. That's the back of the skirt. And I think super movie accurate would be if the skirt would be a complete circle skirt, so that you can like really lie it around. That was too much material for me, since it would be too expensive. That's why I don't have a real circle skirt, but mine is just like gathered at the waist here to get the width that it needs, and I think that's absolutely enough. You see, so like this, and when you're walking you drag it behind you like a train. You're probably wondering what those orange squares are. It also there's also one at the back that you might have seen if you, when I turned it around. Well, these are Velcro tapes to Velcro the belt onto that, which I will do now. The belt and the tabard. So basically, why I did it with Velcro is the skirt doesn't have belt loops, like nowhere, but I still don't want the to always move it around or something. It should stay in place. That's why I attached these Velcro parts. And also you see here, very simple, like the buckle is not a real buckle. It's also attached here by Velcro. Whoa. So let me show you a close-up. So I have one Velcro part here in the front. One is in the back. Oops. And one is at this side here. And then here's one snap button to basically hold the tabard, which is kind of heavy because it's just sewn onto that side because you have to open it. And then you attach it here with a snap button. Now you see that looks not so nice. It looks all wobbly for two reasons. One of the reasons is this is just pleather, and it was really thin pleather that I just had. I did not have enough like real leather, so it's not my favorite part. But also, it doesn't fit the mannequin right. Like when I have it on, it's not like this because my waist is like the correct size, so it would more look like this when I have it on. Yeah, so this buckle is just made out of like warbler and then painted on silvery, yeah. I couldn't find out if it's a silver or if it's a gold or if it's something in between, so I made it something in between and then added some yeah, some used look to it. I also do not know what these things are. Basically, they're mostly always covered by the coat. You will probably never really see them, but in some pictures it shows that there must be something. So either it is something that holds her lightsaber, or it is just, I don't know. If you have an idea what these are supposed to be, what she really has underneath there, just tell me. I just made up something that looks okayish, and yeah, probably no one will see it because it's mostly always covered with this with the coat. Yeah, so that's the belt which holds the tabard. It is made out of 100% real leather. I'm a fan of leather, and whenever I can use it and I can afford to use it, I will do it. But still, it is not movie accurate because like the real tabard of Shaak Ti is punched. So actually what I should have done, if I would be like really 100% accurate, I should have bought like a raw leather, and then there are certain tools to punch these patterns in there, and then you can go in with like a leather dye or leather paint to get the different patterns like more pronounced out. I have never done any punching on leather, and these tools and everything that you need for that is pretty expensive. So I went for a more like safer way for me and did it in a patchwork way. So it is actually all these different like patterns here are different leather pieces. You can see that on some parts where it's not exactly perfect, and they are glued. They're glued onto the big leather part. So it's all real leather. So the base leather already has kind of a like punched structure. It looks here a little bit crinkly, so it is a nice structured background for all the different pieces that I put on there. And then I used, I think 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I used 4 different brown leathers to cut it out and then glue it on. I decided against do like sewing it on, because sewing would even create even more inaccurate structure, because it is not, there are no seams actually. No noticeable seams. Well, the edge is is covered with a leather band, and then I just went into like some of these like patterns. Some of these stripes are like drawn then with leather paint to just give a little bit of in-depth. I think from far and then everything, it looks okay. I'm happy with it. I probably will have to re-glue some of the parts like here, like these. If I ever have the time or the passion to really want to start punching, I would maybe remake it, but 99% not, because I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with the look. Yeah. So the next thing that I will show you is the scarf. The scarf is actually just a long rectangular piece. Well, I made it a little bit thinner at the place where it is at your neck, and then around 10 centimeters wide at the bottom. It is a waffle piqué fabric. You can get these in jersey, like or in like this is a woven, and this is the closest that I could get to what she has. Like you see these patterns in here, it looks like small waffles, but they are like they go inside. What she has, actually it looks more that they go outside, but I was absolutely okay with that. It just didn't have the right color. It was like, I got a brown one, but it was too dull and too like, I didn't like it, because the color is more like yellow brown, so more like a beige yellow brown, but kind of intense color. And I dyed it. I used yellow fabric dye on the brown actual fabric, and I'm pretty happy with the color that it turned out. So show you up close. Because here's better lighting, I think. Yeah, this is the fabric that I chose. When I'm dyeing, I'm not really good at it. You see some parts are still a little bit lighter and some a little bit more intense. But overall, I'm happy with it. And again, this is also very often covered by the coat, which comes on top of that. So the next layer is the coat, or the robe. Maybe you would say like Jedi robe or coat, like whatever you would call that. So it is dark brown. I chose a woolen twill fabric, not too heavy, because you don't want it to be like a winter coat, cool wool fabric. You want it a little bit lighter because it is already heavy enough as it is. It has a giant hood, and it is a little bit different to most of the other Jedi robes, as far as I could see from the reference material. Like the cut is not exactly as the normal Jedi robes. So if you have a look at, like, for example, Anakin's Jedi robes from the movies, or Obi-Wan or something, they don't have a sleeve that is like with a seam. They have a cut sleeve, what I would call it, which is directly like a T. You know, it would just be maybe from here, and then, or maybe just show it to you like this. It would be like this, and then rectangular, zack, zack, zack. With Shaak Ti's coat, I think she has a sleeve that is really sewn in, because it is slimmer at the part where the seam is, and then it gets wider, so more like a more triangular shape. Maybe I can show you the difference in a book. Like, for example, if you look at Anakin's sleeve, you see it is super wide at this part, and it is directly cut here. There is no seam, no insert seam. But if you have a look at Shaak Ti's robe, it is very, it is like smaller here and then gets really wide. So I'm pretty sure she has an insert seam, a sleeve seam. I'm not 100% sure, but that's how I thought. I would make it. As the sleeves are so big and long and wide, I had to make a seam at the top of the sleeve here, which I'm pretty sure is correct. In one of my pictures that I found, I saw that. And then it is gathered here together at, yeah, around where your wrist would be. So it gives the shape how it falls. There are some folds at the insert, at the where the sleeve is attached. Oops. Yep. Maybe you can better see it here. And then the giant hood. It needs to be so big that it falls over her shoulders when it is relaxed. Let me turn it around. I decided to go for a snap button. The back, so the scarf is not that easy with the left hand. Okay, so that the scarf is not like too short on one side, so it doesn't like get shifted around, so it always stays at the correct place. Same with the coat. So the hood is so giant and so big that I needed to make a lot of pleats at the back here to get all that width, and still it is not functional. And that is probably correct, because from the hoods that I made for Ahsoka already, I know that a Togruta headpiece to fit in a hood needs to have, like you see that super long leku in the back, it would need to have like a super long like a hood where all the back leku would fit in, or it would need to have a hole in the hood. So it is not functional. She could never, so I could never put it on. It has the correct height here to fit here, so that would be okay. But the back leku would never fit in. Seam here, hem, yeah. And as I said, it falls over her shoulder. So, what else can I tell you about the coat? Well, the shape is also different to the normal Jedi robes, because it is shorter in the front and then it gets longer in the back till it is very close to the floor. This one is not like draping on the floor, so it's not not like a train of not like the skirt, but it is still like, you see, it's longer in the back than it is at the front. So now I think it's time to show you the accessories, let's call it like that, so everything that's left. So she doesn't have like a lot of accessories, whatever goes onto here more, but I want to show you my gloves. Well, you know, Shaak Ti is a Togruta. The alien species is orange, so I'm using body paint. I'm using body paint for my face and for the neckline. Well, the rest is covered. There is like a long skirt and everything. You don't need to paint your legs or anything. The only thing that's left that you see are the hands. And I absolutely hate body painting my hands because the body paint that I use is like water-based. It rubs off. It goes everywhere when you touch everything. It is not nice. So what I've learned from all my Ahsoka cosplays is to make gloves. I make them out of tights material. So I just buy tights that have the correct color. So Shaak Ti is a very dark orange, nearly red, like somehow nearly a red orange. That's why these are kind of super intense and dark now, as you see, but it matches up with my body paint. Basically, I cut the tights, and then I make a pattern which is just so around my my hand when it's really like stretched out like this. 2 pieces sew on top of each other, and then definitely don't forget to add fingernails. That makes it really, let's say that makes it really authentic looking, especially from a little bit more far away. And concerning everything here, you don't need to think about it because it will be covered up by the long sleeve top, so it will just be noticeable like this, and then it's really convincing, I think. Nails are black and white striped, and I glue like these artificial fingernails onto the glove with a super glue. Basically just with the super glue while I have it on my hand, and I can even wash it, it doesn't come off. So yeah. Let's continue with the boots. Well, my costume is completely actually based on the movie Shaak Ti, but I had to look up some Clone Wars references because some parts you never see, like what kind of shoes is she wearing, like probably some kind of Jedi boots. Could be wearing anything because you probably never ever see it on my pictures then. But if you look up those Clone Wars reference pictures, like those really detailed ones where you see them like standing like this and every part separate and everything, you see that in that version they made her like dark gray lace-up boots, and they have a little bit of a camouflaging fabric kind of, and those were the ones that I found. They are super comfortable. I'm wearing them like I've worn them a lot this winter, like out of cosplay obviously also, and they are probably not accurate to like the movie, whatever, but in the Clone Wars she's wearing these lace-up boots, and I went for these, and they are comfortable, and I'm really happy with them. So now I probably will also show you the headpiece again because, well, it is the main part of the costume. It is the thing that sticks out, that people are like, oh, how did you do that and stuff like that. But as I said, I have a separate video on just the headpiece. It is the biggest one I ever made. I haven't changed anything concerning like whatever paint or anything here. But I have now, since the last time, I have now cut it down because it was still longer here. Basically, I put it on my head, had a look like where do I need to cut it so it is really the correct size, that my ears are covered and that it is like my hairline is covered and everything. And then I decided to paint it a little bit orange to really smoothen the like edge of headpiece to my face, because my face is orange and then of course here white and stuff. And this works really well. And then I glue it with like mastics with, what is it called, like skin glue onto my face here. And it holds up really well because underneath all of this there is a cap which really fits my head very good. So it's probably one of the best fitting headpieces that I've made. And these accessories here, they are now definitely glued onto the headpiece, so I don't have to put them on whenever I'm wearing it. That would be kind of a pain, because these small teeth here, they are made out of warbler and then like painted this shiny metally gold. Then here are those chains that like go around the like the white part of her like face painting. They go around like this, and I then also just glue it on here. There are actually two small like pearl beads here. You see one of the side is orange because that's the side that I glue onto my face, and then of course it gets orange. It like goes around like at the side of the nose, and in the middle here is also one dangling element. And this is not directly accurate because it's actually more round in reality and has a round thing, but I couldn't find anything that is flat enough and has the right size and is round. So I went for something like this, which looks more like a flower, but I think it's really beautiful. Then I attached these pearls. Here are some more pearls. And this part here, these two chains, like they are loose and they go to one side, so two sides of the back lacquer. Yeah. In general, to tell you again, this up until here the headpiece is covered with latex, and these, the long lacquer, they are made out of silicone. But I have quite an in-depth tutorial kind of a video already made on that, so I will not go in depth here. But basically that's the headpiece. Everything that I added were those details, like those accessory parts. Yeah, what's left? Actually just the lightsaber, which is not quite finished, but I can show it to you anyways. So I ordered on Etsy a 3D print of Shaak Ti's lightsaber, which is, I think, the same lightsaber hilt also used for another Jedi, I think for Adigalia, if I'm not mistaken. And as you see, it is not finished because the blue parts, obviously, they don't have to be blue. They just are blue right now to smoothen the surface. They will get like all shiny silver. But this is what it looks right now. I can detach this tube. This is how I basically make my own my lightsabers. They don't light up. I always get these kind of acrylic tubes. Sometimes they also come in the correct color. I didn't find like this middle light blue color, so I got the see-through one. And then I attached a very thin see-through foil onto it. I melted it at this part a little bit so I can fit it into the hole, and that's actually it. and it's not very professional, but I like to have a lightsaber, so like this part, the blade as well, to have a little bit more of a reference when I then input the light effect in Photoshop. But I think to have at least the hilt is nice, but as I said, it's not finished yet. So yeah. So I think that's actually, yeah, that's actually it. I see that I'm running out of space on my memory card. So I hope you enjoyed seeing like now the finished costume. I hope I didn't forget anything, it feels like. Of course, one big part is also the face paint, but either I make that in a separate video, or I definitely insert some pictures now where I was wearing it at the first time, for the very first time. Yeah, if you like what you see, maybe thumbs up for the video, give it a like. If you see more of my costumes, like I have a lot of Star Wars costumes, like in depth, I will make more videos, and maybe also subscribe to the channel. But as I said, don't be surprised. I also make other videos which are not based on cosplay. Yeah. Have a nice day. See you real soon, and may the Force be with you. Bye!